Okay, welcome back to the project. This one's definitely a raw take. The bike is not fully assembled. I cannot find my bag of parts from a year and a half ago, or whenever I started tearing into this. I pulled the windshield off and all that because I had to get in here to do the front signals, and you know, I pulled all the plastics apart. There's 6 little walnut bolts that go into the windscreen here. A couple for the nose piece, couple for this piece of plastic, then there's the over plastic here. It's a bunch of screws and little bolts, stuff for the handlebar cover, and a couple for that. I can't find that bag. I'm a little bit annoyed. I can probably make do with some generic fasteners from the hardware store, but I don't know. That annoys me. So anyway, I've got to take this thing over to Wild West and get the state inspection done, because that's how long it's been since this thing has been registered. Woohoo! 15. So we're looking at 9 years since it had registration. I rode it for about a year out of registration. I rode it in 2016, but it's pretty much been parked since then. So we're looking at 8 years sitting still. Anywho, so yeah. Raw take. I'm riding it over to the shop just like this to get inspected. All the mechanicals are good, so we should not have any problems. All the important bits work. Tires are fresh. Brakes are good. Lights work. Horn works. All the stuff works. And contact. Purrs like a kitten. In my other raw video, I don't know if that made it out yet, probably not. As soon as I drained the tank and I put some fresh fuel in it that was treated for my lawnmower and all that, I hooked up the battery and hit the starter, and it started just like that. I mean, barely rotated once and fired right up. Amazing. Gotta love Hondas. So it's underway. I need to finish wiring my driving lights in and clean up all my loose connections and stuff in here. Nothing really dangerous or detrimental. It's just open because I pulled a couple of pigtails out of there for old lighting and all that. So anyway, let's get this underway. I'm going to go over to the fuel station, fill it up with super unleaded, and dose it with a liberal helping of seafoam, and take it over to Wild West. And now, of course, my mirrors are ganked beyond all recognition because they've been pulled off, and they're really dirty, but it hasn't had a bath yet, not road prepped yet. This is just a rough run to get it over and get it inspected and registered. Ooh, riding the heavy girl again. Gotta get the feel for it. Oh, it's been a while. These are fresh brakes and everything, so I'm going to take it easy until I get really acclimated to the bike again. Silky smooth. Your turn. I don't know why these people park in the middle of intersections. Ugh. Taking it easy on that clutch too until it beds. I scuffed up the bell and the clutch shoes, you know, remove any glazing and polishing and stuff in there so they can rebed. So hopefully it does well. It's a fresh belt, so take it easy on everything until I get it out on the road. Steering feels a little heavy on it. I didn't get into the front end. I was gonna try to set my head bearings. Oh yeah, fresh tires too. I forgot to mention that. Don't want the tires to go slipping out from underneath me on this wet pavement. It feels like the head bearings are a little bit stiff, so I might need to pull the triple tree out of it and re-grease them, or just set the tension on the collars. But it's plenty rideable. It just feels a little bit heavy. I noticed that when I was riding it a while back. It feels weird riding this thing with no windscreen on it. All the wind pressure. It's just smack dab in the middle of the chest. forget how much engine braking this thing has. My brake is not on. Let off the throttle and this thing just, yeah. I love the sound of this 360 degree parallel twin. It's very smooth, just like BMWs. They've got that same crank order. Alright. This will be its first fill in at least a couple of years. I filled it apparently when I came home with it last time because my tank was totally full. Ugh, come on, heavy. It had a full 4.25 gallons, whatever, in it. Luckily, and that kept my tank from rusting up, so that was a good thing. So I'm going to put premium in it, although it doesn't really call for it. This bike calls for 86 PON, so it can run on the basest base unleaded, but I'm going to go ahead and treat it to a little bit of premium plus the seafoam to you're not going to make that corner there, buddy, to help clean it out. And I need to do this before the pump times out. Need to get that seafoam out of there. Ugh, if I can get it. I need to get a new support for my seat too, though. That was reasonably fresh. It was only a few years old, but it's been sitting long enough that it now does not work. Okay, don't time out pump. Don't time out pump. I'm just going to feed this a few ounces of this good stuff. Glug, 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 glug. This is supposed to treat up to 16 gallons. I'm only treating it with 4, but I'm going double thick. Okay. Don't time out. Oh, don't time out. All right, I made it. Fill it up. I've really only ridden this thing, what, 3 times in the last 8 years. Once was on a very brief stint leaving the warehouse, coming home, and I had my wife with me on the back. She decided to take a ride with me, one of the very few times. And we stopped over at Costco on I-10, and my fuel lid was doing that. You know, the little tumbler in here was seized up and would not rotate. So I couldn't even get the gas cap off of it to fill it up. How much do we have in there? Oh yeah, we're up the neck. That's good enough. So we spent like forever trying to get the silly gas lid open so I could fill it up. And I think she was a little annoyed. We were sitting there in the heat forever. So, yeah, whatever. And then just a trip to the warehouse and a trip back, and that's it. That's the only times this thing has been ridden. So filling it up right then was giving me flashbacks of being stuck at Costco trying to get the stupid key, because even the key got stuck in there. I was like, oh shit, now I'm really screwed. Not only can I not fill it up, I can't even get my key out to restart the bike. Clink. And I got my receipt. And I'll dig out my phone and do my mileage recording for the start of its new lease on life. I do still want to pull all the plastics off of it, do my valve maintenance and all that, but I looked at my maintenance records and I had done it at was it 16,000, and I got back in there and put fresh plugs in it at 24,000. I didn't check the valves, but I didn't feel like prolonging my rebuild agony here, so I decided I would postpone that until after this trip is complete. Ooh, he can't get in there. How's he going to get in there? How's he going to get in there? Oh, there's how he gets in there. And ka-chink. Alright, so start tracking the mileage. I'm right at 31K. And I'm probably going to get rained on before I get back from the shop. Got to put all my mounts on here, put all the plastics back on today, and then the plan is to hit the road tomorrow morning early, crack of dawn. It's about an 8.5, 9-hour ride up to Eureka Springs. So if we leave here, 7 a.m., 6:30, 7 a.m., something like that, then we'll be up there late afternoon. It won't be a big deal. My son is going with me, so, and he decided to tear his bike apart yesterday, and he wanted to do the valve maintenance on it, so that really put me behind schedule for all the other stuff. Glad that he's taking the initiative, but reset. There we go. Trip A, trip B, sure, reset. Fresh oil. It's 1 mile from my house to here. Look at that. Okay, so off to Wild West. Gently. Still getting used to the bike again. Fresh bike, fresh brakes, fresh tires. Just take it easy. She feels different. She feels different. My horn is not the greatest. That's the other thing. I've got the plastics off of this. That's that anemic air horn there. It's a Stebel dual tone air horn. It's the same exact horn, from what I can understand, as the Denali sound bombs. The dual tone. Yeah. Ooh, hey. It just quit working. It's like the little compressor isn't spinning fast enough to get both the low and high tones going, so it just kind of on the lower one. Anyway, it still works a little bit. I think it'll pass inspection, but I've got to reach. It's basically right behind the speedometer in a metal frame area where the ABS pump goes on the ABS bikes. So in my misguided efforts to find a great place for it to live, I put it in there, but now I can't reach it at all. And I've got to get to those horn wires because it's using the original horn wires. Oh, nice. Don't even bother waiting. You doofus. Don't even stop and look. It's using the original horn wires to power the relay, and then the relay is straight to the battery. But I've at least got to get to that relay to get the horn wires off of there to hook the OEM horn up, which is down here in the left fairing facing the front wheel. It's still there. I just unplugged the wires. It's pulling to the right. I think I need to set my forks. I had it up on the stands so the front forks were loaded, but I need to loosen up the front axle and the carrier and bounce it and set the forks because it's pulling right. So my forks are a little bit twisted, or the wheel is canted a tiny bit. I'll sort that. Yeah, so maybe when I bring it back after this trip, I'll pull the nose off of it, which I'm really dreading doing. I'll pull the front fairing off and reset the forks and all that, because they may not be seated fully in the clamps. I had Honda of Houston work on this thing a while back, and I noticed that the front wheel felt a little off since then. It wasn't pulling as much as it is now, but these guys did not do a good job on this bike. They had the whole front end of it off. They actually checked the steering bearings, the head bearings for me. But they did not do a good job. They were the ones that left the front axle completely undone. It wasn't even torqued at all. The carrier bolts weren't tied down. The axle itself wasn't torqued, and my brake caliper was loose. So they just loose assembled it and sent it on its way. Oh man. Not good, not good. And I didn't think to check it. It was like 4 miles from my house, but I didn't think to check it because, why would you check it? You just pay to shop. several $100 to work on your bike. They're supposed to be smart service techs, right? Front tire's out of balance. Thought I felt that at 55, 60, so I cranked it up. Front tire's out of balance. They need to rebalance it. That means I got to pull the front wheel off anyway. Damn it. Yeah, 55, 60, it's not bad. I can feel a little bit of modulation, but up at 75, it's bouncing. I plan on putting ride on in here, but I don't want to mask a problem. The thing should be balanced better than that. I could just pull it off and balance it myself at home. Easier than bringing it over here. I'm running short on time. I'm hyperflashing. I shouldn't be. That sucks. I put CANbus bulbs in this thing with resistors, so it shouldn't be hyperflash. Yeah, it's hyperflashing, damn it. Guy's taking the whole road. Get this thing inspected and take it back home, sort out the other stuff. Howdy, sir. All right, that was quick. 5 minutes in and out. Howdy. I will go home and park this thing and just take my plate and the new papers over to get the tag, and hopefully that is not a long process, and then I'll get back home and finish reassembly and all the other stuff. She still gets up pretty good. These bikes are deceptively quick because there's no shifting. You just get in it and let it pull, and it's just locomotive pull, keeps on going right up to 100 miles an hour or so. And you end up squirting away from traffic and just, you know, poking around town and stuff, get out on the highway, and you don't realize you're going all that fast. You look down and like, oh crap, I'm going 75. It's windy out here. You see the flags up there just standing full at attention. They're barely even moving, they're just solid. so weird to ride this thing with so much chest pressure, because I'm used to that GV airflow on here, adjustable airflow, and there is just no chest pressure at all. Brakes feel really good on this thing now. A lot better than the old factory pads that were on here and crunchy master cylinders that I had. They were very firm before, but they just didn't offer a lot of feel, you know. The stopping power was moderate, but the levers felt pretty firm, so I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe that's just how it's supposed to be. With these master cylinders rebuilt and the EBC HH pads on them, this is a lot more progressive, a lot more tactile. You can feel it. And these are old lines. They're 20-year-old lines on this bike, rubber lines, so I need to refresh those, or have Spiegler make me some stainless braided lines. It looks so naked with all this open. Usually there's this big plastic cover that fills all this in. Ruh-roh. You got fire or ambulance? Nah, don't go through that intersection, you shitheads. Look at them. You idiots. Yield to emergency vehicles, period. You don't know if that guy's going to juke a left. And it's starting to rain again. Yeah, I'm getting Hyperflash. It's weird. It doesn't do it when the bike isn't running. So it's got to be a charge level issue, but these are those CANbus lights. They've got the load resistors built in. They should present a normal load to the flasher. That sucks. And unfortunately, the flasher relay for the Silverwing is built into this gauge. I started a bypass project a while back where I was going to interrupt the harness, or the plug, you know, that feeds into the instrument cluster, and then tap out sideways to bypass the flasher, but I never finished that. I had to get a special pin tool for these, what are they, TE Micro or something like that is the manufacturer. It's a very specific little micro pin, and you got to crimp all the pins into the connectors. I got the connectors, I got the pins, I just didn't get the crimping tool, and it was stupid crazy expensive. And when I say crazy, I'm talking like $600 for the little crimp tool, and I don't think so. Not unless I'm going to mass produce that harness. Anyway, I'll sort it out. I'll put heavy load resistors in the back one of these days. Maybe that'll solve it. Okay, well, that's the first maiden voyage since the rebuild, or at least partial rebuild, and now I need to take these plates, or plate, over to get the registration redone. Pardon my messy patio with all the other bikes sitting outside of the garage. Yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna go get this thing tagged so I can ride it without fear of the road pirates hassling me and extracting several $100s of my hard-earned money. I'll go pay $57 or whatever it is of my hard-earned money and avoid the several $100 fine. So anyway, I'll catch you in a bit.